Hi, good morning. Great to have you here, not just through Zooms, but physically here on the stage. Good morning, everybody. To continue on Nimrod's point, your very presence here, John, says a lot about the transformation of the Israeli tech. Huge funds, mega funds come to Israel for mega rounds, and we are not those small fish anymore in the bowl, but we can become larger fish. How big, in your vision, can Israeli start to become? Can we be even the front runner, the category leader?
Yeah, I mean, I think over time, and we're starting to see this, Tel Aviv will look and feel more like Silicon Valley. I mean, it's a real ecosystem today. I was in Tel Aviv for a week a few weeks ago, and the stat that astounded me was that there's over 70 unicorns, in Tel Aviv today, which is more than in all of Europe, which is pretty amazing. And I think it's only going to accelerate. Just amazing founders, amazing engineering talent, and really global ambitions in a way that we haven't seen before. I had a number of conversations with folks where they, half jokingly said, a $500 million exit in Israel now is viewed as a failure. And so it's amazing kind of how quickly things have changed.
Okay, and you, Tiger Global has become famous mostly during the recent years for your unorthodox methodology, maybe, if I could describe it like that. You are one of the most, if not the most active investor in VC area. And what are your thumb rules, your criteria when you come and measure a company like Forter and you decide to go with all your power in?
Yeah, so we do very, very thorough diligence, and we focus on a few aspects. So one is we really over-index on customer calls and customer feedback. So in Forter's instance, we spoke to over 20 customers, and we took, we had the team kind of take very detailed notes. So we have probably over 250 pages of transcripts from these calls, and so we're able to kind of go through and see. What do customers love? Where are there areas for improvement? What do they like about the product? What do they think about the competitive landscape? What other vendors did they consider? And in Forter's case, I mean, the feedback was just 9s and 10s out of 10s across the board. And so that got us really, really excited because we said, oh, well, clearly this product is really resonating in the market. There are some of the largest companies in the world that are customers, and their spending intentions actually will increase going forward. And so they want to spend more going forward. And when we looked at the rest of the market, we saw that the feedback was not as good. And so we developed conviction that Forter was and would continue to be the market leader, and that gap would likely widen over time relative to other players in the space. And then the other thing we focus on is the ability of the team to execute. You can have a phenomenal product, but we want to be able to develop conviction that the management team will continue to grow and evolve. And what we really focus on is resilience. In some of our best performing companies, we've consistently seen situations where there's a plot twist, there's a roadblock at some point in time, and so we want to back folks that don't get deterred, kind of have this North Star that they're focused on. And realize it's a long journey to get there, and we knew that Michael had exhibited an amazing ability to execute historically, and would continue to do so.
Okay, great, and to you, Michael. So, at what point you knew, as the founder, or co-founder, and CEO, that you are on the right path? I'm sure that every founder has a conviction of his success, but when do you start to get this feeling, okay, it's working, I can be really next big thing?
So I think early when we started in 2013, the conviction was, and actually showed our team the deck we used when we were raising our seed round. Not a lot of things changed. Right? We knew that what we need to do is unite the entire ecosystem of e-commerce. And if you have one system to review all transactions, you can have a substantially better outcome for the entire ecosystem. And I was at a conference probably 2 years ago, and I realized that I bought my airline ticket going to the conference on a customer. I booked my hotel, who is a customer. Everything I wear now is also from our customers, and it's very, very clear that everything I do in my life and everything we see people doing their lives are going through our system, and I can actually quantify that impact. It was pretty clear for us.
Okay, and from this point on, it's all the issue of money. The more you pour into the company, the better it gets, or there are some bottlenecks?
I wish it was just money, right? Money's helpful, and I think money is helpful for us to think long term, to be able to take risks as a more mature company, but act as an early stage company, right? Innovate with products that we're not 100% sure it's going to work, build and expand our team, but it's all about execution, right? It's all about how do we build our team, how do we make sure that our executives understand the vision, and our employees, even the new ones and the interns that we have, also understand, and everyone is kind of rowing in the same direction at the same pace. I think it's way harder in today's environment, hiring the people, managing the team, and especially, right, we have offices in 8 countries, we have employees in, I think, 13 or 14, and we have customers in about 35. So understanding the global ecosystem and understanding that you're playing to win everywhere, and you need a team to understand where you're going, it's substantially harder than money.
John, and continue on that point, if Tiger Global is known for its mega rounds, putting a lot of money, in your vision, is there a limit of how much money a certain startup can absorb at a certain point?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're active across stages. Do everything from seed to pre-IPO rounds, and so a lot of the checks that we write are $5 to $20 million checks. Forder, within the software investing practice, our check in Forder was actually on the larger end. And so we don't think, founders should take more dilution than they need to. We don't think they should, way overcapitalize their balance sheets. We think they should be prudent. And if there's, a great opportunity to invest, they should do so. But if there's not anything in the near to medium term, they should take just what they need.
Okay, and Michael, when you get an investment from VCs like Tiger Global and the other huge VCs and private equity, they believe in you, and then comes your part to deliver the goods. How stressful is that? How do you manage yourself? How are you coping with those expectations, high expectations?
To paraphrase Colin Powell here, I sleep like a baby. I actually think the balance is not so much on the investor side. A lot of the investors, and we've picked our investors very carefully, and I think we have a great assembly of people on the board and on our investment team. They understand that it's never a straight line, right? Everyone understands where you're going. There will be ups, there will be downs. A lot of the time, the harder part is managing the expectations with our team. People that they could have been their first job or their first job at a startup. They don't understand that not every day everything's rosy, and something happens, and what does it mean for us? And always something happens, right? Nothing's ever perfect, even if you look at the kind of the quarterly reports. I used to joke that I really love our board meetings because that's the one time you can zoom out and see how well the company performed quarter over quarter versus the daily issues that you're dealing with. And it's making sure that we've been very, very transparent with our team from day one. Everyone understands what's going on, and everyone knows that this is a bump in the road, but this is how we overcome it. And a lot of the ideas of how to overcome them come from the team, and they don't even reach us as management.
Okay, quarterly reports. Is a IPO a must stage in the company's life today in this evolution? I would like both of you to answer that.
Well, from my perspective, it's definitely not a must stage. It's a stage that makes sense for a lot of companies, probably not for everyone. Early on, when we started, we knew that we want to create a company that's independent because we want to make sure we can work with all the e-commerce companies, all the travel companies, all the payment providers, all the banks, and we can't take sides, right? The fact that we're neutral is a big advantage for our business models, so it makes sense in today's market. But it's definitely not an end goal. It's another funding round. It's a nice potential branding event for the company, but I think you can solve all the other problems or issues or advantages through private means.
And you, John, you would prefer your companies staying private or going public?
We're agnostic. A lot of our companies do end up going public. Year to date, we've had 30 companies go public, so we have just a lot of experience helping companies go public, and advise a lot of them on kind of best practices. But we also have companies that decide to wait until they're at 300, 400, 500 million of ARR before deciding to go public. And so we kind of leave the decision up to the founder. We have noticed that, particularly for our enterprise software companies that go public, as Michael mentioned, there are a lot of branding events. And so, it is helpful for, CIOs, at large enterprises to be able to pull up a company's financials that they're doing business with, to pull up the ticker, see what the market cap is. It just makes it feel more real. It makes it feel like it's not going to go away. And so there are certainly helpful aspects in terms of being a public company from a go-to-market perspective. And then also from a talent acquisition perspective, we've seen in almost all instances, the portfolio companies of ours that go public, around the time of the IPO, post-IPO, they just get an influx of resumes. Folks, the company becomes a much higher profile. It's viewed by prospective employees as even more of a sure thing. And so it is a helpful recruiting device as well.
And usually, Tiger Global, when you invest, let's say in Forter, which is in certain area, and you put all your money on it in the category, you can invest at the same place, same time, or more or less in companies with the similar profile.
No, we focus just on one, and so we want to find the company in the market that we love the most, and then kind of put all our chips in one basket, and that's certainly what we did with Forter.
And for you, probably you had the 2 huge rounds of funding over just last half a year, I think, a little bit more. And I guess you get phone calls and emails from other investors all the time. How do you decide with which one to go?
So we were, even from the seed round, every round we had multiple options. I think we were very successful and very kind of in a privileged situation where we were able to tell our story and get connected to a lot of people. And we were very deliberate at what we do. So we had Sequoia lead our seed round because we needed that international brand recognition. Just being Israel didn't have the same reputation in 2013, so hiring people in the US, we knew that we needed some help there. Then we brought NEA, that was the largest fund at the time, and we wanted to signal this to the market that we're here to stay and we're not going to sell for sad 500 million. And so we were in, every time we had multiple options. We never try to optimize for short-term valuation or terms because that's a milestone on the way. And we were trying to bring the people that will help us make a better company in the future. And it worked.
And on your side, with everything what's happening now in Israel, it's like exploding, I think it's the best word to describe it. Do you feel that you get all the access to the deal flow from here, from the States, or you're thinking about opening an office on-premise in Israel?
So I have noticed that our brand is solid, in Israel at this point, and I think on the rise. I think it's getting better over time. We have been able to just have a pretty robust pipeline in Israel just through, referrals from, our founder partners like Michael, who will say, hey, I have friends that are raising. Would you like to chat with them? We have a lot of Israeli entrepreneurs just try to reach out to us directly or through, try to get warm intros to us. But it is helpful to be on the ground. And so, I'm planning to go, every quarter, basically forever for a week.
You have over 10 investments, right, in Israel?
Yeah, so today I have 13. The firm, has, I think, 16 today in aggregate. And so
all of them are unicorns, or?
Not all of them.
Not yet.
7 or 8 of them are unicorns. And hopefully all of them will be eventually. And so no plans to open up a formal office today, but we're going to be spending a lot of time in person.
Okay, great, guys. It was very interesting, and thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.